Yeah, it's pretty much perfect set of bear prints right here. Here's the front paw, there's the rear paw right there. Yeah, it's quite a view looking right down into Capitol Reef. Hey everyone, welcome to the 11,300 foot summit of Thousand Lake Mountain. And welcome to another grand adventure with MinerBiker, dogs, and the RE Cascade Peak. Yes, we're on top of Thousand Lake, doing a pretty epic route, kind of crisscrossing up here, linking together a few different trails, passing by some gorgeous lakes and stuff. So we're gonna bring you along on this magnificent adventure. So without further ado, we'll jump back to where we started, and here we go on Thousand Lake Mountain. Starting off with a pretty good climb on Forward Trail from Elkhorn Campground, heading to Neff's Reservoir. Yeah, it's pretty much perfect set of bear prints right here. Here's the front paw, there's the rear paw right there. Front paw's about the size of my hand if I close my fingers. There's a little black bear out here. Is that a relative of yours? You black dog. Man, those bear tracks pretty fresh too. Within the last, at least within the last day. Following the creek right here. Bud, you go get some. Lots of little ponds in the forest. Good spot for doggy dips. Oh, a pretty meadow. Right in here is where an ATV trail comes up from below, from the right. The Neff's trail, Neff's Reservoir Trail, keeps going straight. And right here is where the Flat Top Trail turns and heads up to the top of the plateau, and that's actually where we're going right now. It's tipped over, but it says Flat Top Trail, Flat Top Spring 2 miles. Up that way onto the plateau, which is where we're going. And eventually we'll actually come down on the Thousand Lake mountain trail that'll bring us down just on the to the south of Neff's, and then we'll come back past Neff's to here and then go back to where we came. I did actually ride this trail once, about 7 years ago, 2018. I have actually been on top of Thousand Lake Mountain once. That was before I started doing YouTube or anything, so it wasn't videoed. Came down this trail that we're heading up. There's bear tracks on this one too. Those ones are a little older, but there's bear tracks here too. And elk. Oh, we're gonna see this much track, we better see an actual bear. Nice little dog swamp, huh? Swampy little stagnant ponds here deep in the forest. They're cool looking. There's another one over there behind this little hill. Supposed to open the gate, dog. It's right here in front. You're the gate getter. Yeah, it's got to swing down. Really? It's got quite an opinion on things. You ain't hiking, you ain't biking. It's not real mountain biking. There's some rugged terrain up in here, isn't it? A lot of rocks. You're a wild dog. Yeah. All right, bike, time to load up. Let's go. Get closer to the top, it's turned into a steep beast of a trail. Very typical for this area. A good bear hind paw print right there. What the happy bears out and about up here. Hey, for all the tracks we're seeing, we better see an actual bear. I'll be disappointed. And the final steep push onto the top of the plateau here. So many pine cones sticking to my tire tread and then they get sucked up through the fender. This is Flat Top Spring up here. Right there's where the Flat Top Trail comes up that we just came up. Flat Top Spring. And right here we've got a trail intersection. So the Flat Top Trail turns and heads that way to the kind of northeast. And coming from over there from the southeast is the Thousand Lake Peavine Trail, which comes right here, touches base with the Flat Top Trail, and then heads over that way to Neff's Reservoir. So we're going to go that way on the Flat Top Trail. You can actually drop off the plateau on the east side, not too far down. Just drop off a little ways, hit the road, go past Deep Creek Lake, I think is what it's called, and Snow Lake, and come back up onto the top, hit the summit of Thousand Lake Mountain, come back to here on the Thousand Lake Trail, and then we're going to go on that one and drop down to Neff's. It'll be kind of interesting, kind of a figure eight roughly, with right here being the middle point. Well, but I think it's where the real trail splits from the cow trail. That's just the cow and elk trail going that way. The real trail goes this way. Thankfully marked by cairns. Nice boulder field. Whew. A little hazy today, but should still have a pretty good view off into the San Rafael and the Henry Mountains and stuff. Yeah, it's quite a view looking right down into Capitol Reef. Very north end of Capitol Reef comes right up here. Right up here is towards Cathedral Valley. You actually see Jailhouse Rock down there. Wow, that's quite a view. Then over at the Henry Mountains, it's hazy. You won't be able to see them on the camera, but I can barely see the La Salle Mountains and the Abajo Mountains in the distance, but I'm sure you can't pick them out on the action camera. That is quite a view, wow. There's Cathedral Valley right down in there. Make sure you check out that. From back in the springtime, I rode the 70-mile Cathedral Valley loop in a single day. Most people bike pack. I hammered it out one day. It was absolutely magnificent. And then you got all the San Rafael swell out there. All of it's just magnificent country. I've spent so much wonderful time in. Oh, what a view. That's magnificent. So awesome. Love not only being here and seeing the view, but I love seeing the view over country that I'm very familiar with. I spend a lot of time in. Just love seeing like the Cathedral Valley and Capitol Reef and all that in the San Rafael and stuff, areas that I've gotten to know very well, spent some wonderful time in, and then come to see them from a whole different perspective. Always fun. Alright, time to see what this little scrap of a trail is going to be like going off the edge of this. Whew. Definitely more of a hiking trail. Quite built those switchbacks for a full-size mountain bike to swing around. Oh yeah. That's pretty crazy steep. Wow. Oh, cool though, you can tell this is hand-built rock work and stuff to even make these switchbacks, which is cool to see. Definitely not quite optimal on a bicycle though. Even if you're good at like nose pivots and stuff, I still think you're getting these ones. Not with the combination of steep, tight, and incredibly loose. You try a new nose pivot, I think your wheel will just go out from under you. Oh, it's so loose. A mix of sand and gravel. It's worn off of this old granite. Yeah, buddy. There ain't enough room on this hillside for both of us at the same time. There's barely enough room on this hillside for me. It's cool, but boy, that's not a bike trail, I tell you that. Very last switchback was actually rideable. Well, that was kind of crazy. I knew it'd be steep and tricky, but wow, those switchbacks were a little nuts. Even hiking that steep and tight. Very low traction, let alone trying to do it on a bicycle. This is a gorgeous little bit of trail through here though. Hit the road right down here just a little bit. Left. Hey, look, there's water. You guys need a drink? I have to bring my wife and hike that trail sometimes. That's cool. Way cool trail. Dropped into a little mountain oasis in here. Lots of green grass, springs in the mountainside, little pond over there, lots of dog water. Ah, so pretty. Don't get stuck in the swamp, bud. I ain't coming in after you. Alright, coming out of the road. That was an awesome little trail. So cool. It's the other end of the flat top trail. That was awesome. So cool. This road heading back that way takes you back to Elkhorn Campground and over by where I parked. We're gonna head south on it over towards Deep Creek Lake and Snow Lake and then head back up onto the plateau. A side trip down to Deep Creek Lake. Here we are at Deep Creek Lake. Gorgeous lake tucked in this little bowl here on this east flank of the mountain. Beautiful crystal clear water too, other than right here where the doggies just turned up. Everything else is crystal clear. So pretty. I feel good in you. Feel good, buddy. Some good water, huh? Heck, we're back at the lake again. Now we're on the side of it instead of the end. Cool little trail. Rough little bugger, but it's a cool trail. The remains of like a really old trailer or something in here. I bet that's from logging days. Probably what's left of an old log hauler trailer. You got it right. Definitely not the most obvious little route through here. I didn't even know this trail was here between Deep Lake and Snow Lake. It's cool to connect between the two on something other than just the road. Speaking of Snow Lake, here we are. Oh look, there's some wonderful cows here. This is Snow Lake. Much more of a broad, shallow basin than Deep Creek Lake. It's very pretty though. Except for you guys, it'd be nice if you weren't here. So the road's just right over there in the trees. Huck, stop it. And the Snow Lake Trail starts over there, comes around, goes into the trees right over there where that little sign is, and then it's going to go climb back onto the top of the plateau. That's where we're going. Right here at this sign is where Snow Lake Trail starts heading up. Flat top 1 mile, 2 miles back to Flat Top Spring. This one I've actually gone up before. This is the one I went up in 2018. Wow. Go ahead, bud. Sit on up. Good boy. What a trail. We're earning our vertical the proper way today. Just about to the top. Oh yeah. Looking into the northeast out into the last chance area and then clear up into the Santa Fe. There's Snow Lake. You can just see it through these dead trees down below us we've climbed up from. And then off down into Capitol Reef and over the Henry Mountains again. Alrighty, we've conquered that beast of a climb. Now we're back on the top of the plateau. Oh, somebody's been up here and cut that big tree off. That was a big one. That was fun to cut and roll off. Hey, look, there's snow. We found snow, dogs. Feel good, buddy. So good. Hey, here, crazy dog. She's crazy. Oh, you two are funny. Snow Lake Trail continues across this meadow where it connects to the Thousand Lake Peavine Trail. Detouring slightly to the south, come and tag the actual summit, high point of Thousand Lake Mountain. Now we'll turn head back north, back to Flat Top Spring. Ah, so bumpy. Oh, those grass clumps. Reminds me a lot of riding Fish Lake High Top Trail across the High Top Plateau. Very similar to riding this. Hey Huck, you remember when I came up here 7 years ago? Didn't even have you yet. And yeah. Old Huck was just a pup. I think I was riding a orange and black Transition Scout at the time. Was the bike I had. It's a good little bike. One of my favorite bikes I had before getting on with fezzari, or Ari now. Somewhere about in here, I think we're going to turn to the left and cross country it up to the summit. Trail kind of wraps around. I don't want to wrap around too much. We'll start losing some of our elevation. Alright, here's the little rocky outcrop that is the high point of Thousand Lake Mountain. Well, made it to the top. Here we are on the very summit of Thousand Lake Mountain, 11,300 feet. Looking south at the edge of our plateau, then the valley in between. That's where the Fremont River runs. That's where the town of Torrey is. And this Boulder Mountain right across from us. Looking off that way, go down towards like Griffin Top. On over there's Mountain Dutton in the distance. Through that gap in the trees, you can just see the Tushers way in the distance to the west. And then over this way is Fish Lake High Top Plateau, Mount Marvine, Mount Terrell, and you just see Mount Hillgard through the trees. Back off to the southeast is the Henry Mountains. So cool, pretty spot up here. What you think, buddy? What do you think? It's like the top of Tasha Creek when you drop off the summit of High Top and start heading down. You're just riding through grassy meadows like this with a bunch of boulders. And yeah, careful, pay attention. There, this sign's where our Snow Lake Trail comes in from the right. We got all those cows are wearing like 14 trails. Now we're back to the Flat Top Spring over here. Over here, and instead of going down what we came up, you're gonna hang a left to stay on the Thousand Lake Peavine Trail, which will take us over and drop us off just south of Neff's Reservoir. Then we'll come back to Neff's and hook back onto the Four River Trail. Originally came up from that way, then we went that way, then we just came back from that way, and now we're gonna go that way. Got all that? We'll hike the bike right off the bat going this way. We shouldn't have to go up very much. A few sparse cairns marking this one. Need to find the edge of the plateau. Oh look, there's the town of Loa down there in the valley. That's looking down into the town of Loa down there below us, and the Tusher's in the far distance. Cool view. Never seen Loa from this angle. Alright, let's see what this one's gonna be like going off the edge here. I bet it's gonna be about the same as the others, so probably gonna be have at least stretches up that are really janky, tight, techy, loose, all the above. But it could also surprise us and not be too bad, you never know. So far it's really steep, it's kind of going straight. Ain't messing around with switchbacks, is it? Like coming down Willie's Flat, or off of Willie's Flat and into Sheep Valley in the last video. Still though, that's by far the most bike-friendly descent off the plateau of all the trails I've seen, at least so far. Of course, we're not done with it yet. A cool old rail fence. Peavine Thousand Lake Trail. I might have been saying that backwards. I might have been saying Thousand Lake Peavine. It's Peavine Thousand Lake. Woo! Brakes are burning on that. At least at this point though, that is by far the most bike friendly descent off the top. Who knows what it'll get to being down here lower, but across my face. Get off. That's pretty awesome, huh? This is awesome for me. I don't know if it's awesome for you guys having to run down it. Now it's starting to get a little more rocky. Well, kind of taking back what I said about this being a little more bike friendly. It was there for a while. Till we got back into the boulder fields. Boy, what a wild little trail. Oh, holy cow. You like it, didn't you? At least it's slow speed. It makes it easy for you guys to keep up. You don't have to worry about me getting going too fast, that's for sure. Similar to being up on the east side of Fish Lake, but much less well traveled. Similar fields, similar conditions and terrain. That one actually sees a fair amount of use. This definitely doesn't. Honestly, I'm surprised how rideable this is. Or how scruffy and scrappy it is. And everything, I'm surprised it's as rideable as it is. It's pretty cool though. Oh, back brake's hot. Coming down all that steep stuff. Been waiting to see my bear. Can't see 3 different sets of tracks and not see an actual bear. Whew. Wow. What an adventure. Oh, get out of there. It kind of sounded like a bear. the MinerBiker trail, ain't it? Somewhere down here we're going to tee into another trail. Woo! Oh, right here. Look at that nice sign. Alrighty. So we just came down the Peavine Trail off a flat top. That was awesome. That way is Blind Lake Trail. Haven't been on that one yet. We'll save that for another day. Coming up from this way is the Horse Valley Trail. Another one for another day. And then we're going to hang a left, head this way, 1 mile over to Neff's Reservoir. And it looks like we're going to be right back to some hike a bike and get up over this ridge. Alright, let's go. Guessing this is, here's the waterway coming out of Neff's Reservoir. Whoop! Slipped on the rocks. It's good dogs. So refreshing. So pretty in here. Here we're going to hit the Neff's Reservoir 4-wheeler trail. I've been here to Neff's about 7 years ago. Biked in here. Not the first time here. Welcome to Neff's Reservoir. What a lovely spot. You think so, bud? It's a good spot. This one should be a lot better for swimming than the other one was. It's not near as rocky. There you go. Come on out to sea. Good job, buddy. Are you swimming too? Good girl. Good boy, bud. Oh, what a lovely spot to be, huh? Where are you headed, bud? You heading out to sea? Be gone. Oh, he's coming back. Oh, you're funny, hooker. All right. Lovely break there at Neff's. Right here to the right is where we went up the flat top trail. See the sign for it laying on the ground right there. So now we've completed kind of our double loop that we did. That's deep. I think we had pretty good traction. Right up in here to where we saw this good bear track. Maybe we'll see the bear this time. Hello, bear. Come here, bear. Here, bear. Where's the bear? Oh my. Way off line on that one. I almost spun it out, but kept it going. Good job, bud. You guys are such good dogs. Love doing this together, huh? It's only like our very favorite thing. Well, they're just waiting for us at the truck. I think we're out of luck on seeing a bear. Saw 3 different sets of tracks. Cool knowing they're here. May they all live long and prosper. Not get shot or anything for no reason. Happy little black bears out here doing their thing. going to Elkhorn Campground right there. Hey girl, sweetie. Hey, old buddy. Bring it on in, old pal. That's a good job. What a good boy. Well, everyone, that was quite marvelous and excellent. That was cool, kind of double loop, or kind of a figure 8 style route up there on Thousand Lake. That flat top trail was awesome. Really sketchy going off the side. Going past Deep Creek Lake and Snow Lake and stuff's just beautiful, and back up the Snow Lake trail, which is a beast, over to the summit, and over and off down that Peavine Thousand Lake trail. That was pretty wild and amazing. Such a tiny faint trace of a little trail down through there was actually surprisingly rideable. And then Neff's Reservoir is just beautiful, and all things considered, quite a lovely stretch of ATV trail back from Neff's. Shout out to the magnificent trail dogs. That's a good girl, sweetheart. Hey, buddy. Such good dogs. Make sure to hit that like button for the trail dogs. Make sure to check out RE Bikes. Cascade Peak absolutely crushed it. Absolutely love this mid-trail trail bike. It's capable enough on the descents to handle it, as long as you're not going too fast or too chunky, but it's short, it's nimble, it pedals really well. Love it for this kind of riding that's just so mixed, such a huge variety. Such a great little bike, just solid, sturdy, just goes. Anyways, make sure you check out other videos. Will be linked in the cards, like Fish Lake Lakeshore, like the previous video to this one, over coming down through UM Creek, Willie's Flat. That one was awesome. And whatever else I throw up there. Tosh Creek. Made some stuff over in the Tushers that I mentioned. Some of this stuff reminded me of. Make sure to check it all out. Be in the cards in the upper right corner of this video and elsewhere on the channel. Yeah, subscribe if you haven't already. Leave us a comment. Thanks again. Keep digging up new places to ride, hike, or otherwise adventure and experience the great outdoors. Under your own power is always the best.